Okay, let's start by drawing our margin, a straight line on the margin. Then I'll be putting down my um, bust point, which is 10. Then my under bust is 14 and my half length is 16. Then the full length of the dress, that's what I'm putting right now, of the jacket. So let's draw those lines out. Okay, but you'll notice that I'll draw out this the bust point, but I'll skip the under bust and I'll go straight to the half length, because the under bust doesn't really matter when you are sewing a jacket. So let's keep that one aside first, and that's the full length. Then my shoulder length, I'm going to be dividing that by 2, and I put down the point, and then I add allowance for sewing. That's what I've just added there. And when I add that, it's going to give me like 8 inches. So I come down by 1 and 7, something like that. I measure out 3 and I rule a straight line linking those points. So my neckline is 3 inches. So I come down by 1. So I'm starting with the back part of the dress. So I want to start with the back side of the jacket, then we're going to go to the front. So what I done previously is that I had first of all drawn it out with a pencil, because I did not want to spend so much time doing the drawings on the calculations. So what I've measured out now is the distance of my shoulder, which is 8, and I've drawn a straight line connecting from my bust point to the shoulder line. So now I'm taking down 4 inches, which is my nipple to nipple point. So I'll be drawing that line straight down. Okay, first off, I want to take the half length of the shoulder line, because I'm going to be linking those points together. So I link the bust point to bust point line and the shoulder line, the midpoint of the shoulder line together. That done, I now measure half inch on both sides, and then I come down by 1 inch and I go up by 1 inch. Yeah, I go up by 1 inch and I'll be drawing the dot on those lines. Let's draw that together. And then the next thing would be to measure. Anyway, what I'm doing right now, if you like, you don't do it, but I always like my jackets to have a nice form from the back. So the inward bulge on the back, you go in by half an inch on the waistline, and then you link those points as you are seeing me doing. Okay, now you know the shoulder is not flat like on the paper, so I'm going to be going half an inch, and I'll also increase half an inch at the side as you see me doing. So I'm going to come down by 5 inches, and I'll be linking the dots on the shoulder, because the shoulder is curved, the shoulder is not just straight. So what I've removed there is what I'm adding on the arm line, the armhole. So right now I put in my bust measurement, and I'll be linking that to draw a curve to form my armhole. So the curve will just fall exactly where my bust measurement falls. So that is it. Done. Okay, on my waistline, I'm going to measure first my exact waist. That is it. Then, because I have removed 1.5 inch, so that's what I'm adding now at the side there, because don't always forget to add what you have removed, and that is my butt measurement that I'm putting right there. So the initial, if I was drawing without the dots, this will be the initial shape of my jacket, but because of the dots and what I've removed, so I need to increase it. But now this is I want to add the sewing allowance. So the sewing allowance is 1 inch, which I've added. So you see that I added it behind what I've increased from the dots. So this is how the shape looks, but when I'll sew it's going to look different, because all of that is because of the fact that I have put in the dot. So this is how it looks. Let me shape that one out, then we'll go ahead now to cut it. So I'm trying to explain more about how I remove that point there. So that first line does not exist. I have to cancel it out. I'll be cutting from that of behind. So let's cut out our draft, our pattern, the back pattern. So okay, another thing is, okay, you can see at the edge of my jacket, if you like, you don't want it to be straight, you want it to be a bit curved, you go up at the edge there by half an inch, then you draw a curved line that will just meet the the bust line. So now for the front, let's start by drawing our line at the edge, and then we measure out 3 inches on the front, because that's where our flap is going to be found. So 3 inches, I'll remove that and I'll just draw it. As I told you earlier, I have already drawn it because I do not want to spend time, because making a video at times is a bit complicated, and I don't want to, while making the video, it should be a bit lengthy. So I do my calculations first, then I can now explain later. So I've measured out my shoulder length and 3 meters for my neckline. That's 3 inches for my neckline, sorry, and I go down by 1 and 7. Behind was like 1 and 5, but the front is a bit deeper. And I draw my curve for the neck, my neck curve, and I extend it right to the end of the page of the 3 inches that I've measured out first. And then I still do the same thing that I did at the back. My nipple to nipple point, I measure that out from top to bottom. But now, anyway, I made the midpoint at the in the front. If you want to cut your daft, because there's another video that I've made that I cut everything from the front, but for this particular jacket I want to do at the sides. So I'll come back later and I'll show you what I want to do. So for the front armhole, you measure half an inch inwards, and then because it cannot be the same like the back, so you have to come in by half an inch. I just hope my explanation is a bit is coherent, because to be very honest, when you make a video later on you have to do a voice over at times maybe you need to first of all write everything down, but I just hope that you're able to follow up. But watching the video, you see that everything is well explicit. So because I want a side daft, I want a side open, I don't want it to come from the shoulder, so that's why I'm drawing that straight line from the midpoint to the bust point, and I'll be coming down by 1 inch as usual, and I'll go up to by 1 inch. So, and then I'll create my daft half inch in, half inch out, and I'll link all those points together as you are seeing me doing on the paper. I'm drawing out my pattern. So this is a very simple and unique pattern for making a suit. So because that part cannot be so sharp like that, so I need to curve it out. So I'm not going to be doing the armhole daft, because it's not necessary. It's not necessary in a jacket. So I'm going to measure out my waistline from that line that you're seeing. It doesn't have to include the 3 inches that you took out before. So I've already added the extra 1 inch that I removed. So you can see that's the extra 1 inch that I removed. So that's it. So let me draw those lines so that you can see. So what I already done in the back is the same that I'm doing in the front. So that is the bust points, the waistline, the half length, and the full length. So go out now by 1 inch. That is the buttonhole. That is where you form the buttonhole. So that's what I'm drawing right now. So you take from the 3 inches, you measure out 1 inch for the buttonhole. Then depending on how large you want your flap to be, I don't really want something very big. I don't really want something a very big flap, but if you want a very big flap, it depends now on you. That extra material that you allow is for you to design whatever design that you want for the collar. That's just the truth, whatever flap that you want. So I've measured out like 0.7, not actually 0.5, 0.7 inch, and I've drawn that to the waistline. Then I add now my allowance for sewing, which is 1 inch. So that's my sewing allowance. I just added everything at once on the pattern because I don't want to be adding it on the material. I just want, when I go on the material, I just cut directly. So this is how our jacket looks. Now let's cut, and then let me show you how all the patterns are. So okay, now one thing that I had not done was to draw the straight line to show you how the flap is going to look from the waistline to the neckline. So this is my flap that I'm forming. That's how the flap looks. Nice and simple, and your dress is done. So this is it. Very simple and straight to the point. This is a suit. This is a suit. You want a suit? This is a suit. Okay, this is the front and the back. Now let's cut that on the material. So we are going to cut this, and then we are going to join the parts together. So I want to add a small decorative style in the front. So I've already sewn everything together, and I just want to add small nyanga. I like decorations a lot on my dress. If it's not shiny, it's not me. So that's one of my things. I like to add some additional shine. Thank you so much for watching so far. So this is how it looks. This is that decorative thing in front, and this is our jacket. So the material was not large enough for me to make the arms, but I'm going to show you other videos on jackets that I've made, and I've made the arms. So this one is just something for you to see how it looks. This is it. Simple. It just needed me to add the arms. If the material was big enough, I would have done that. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.